Just gonna start recording on this camera so I can get sound.
Okay, so I recently bought this. This is the Wiral Lite. It's a cable cam that's mostly meant for like action cameras and 360 cameras, but it can also hold up to like 3.5 pounds nearly. So I'm gonna try some stuff with the FX3 on it, but no! That was the camera just dropping to the ground. The line snapped for sure. This is the Wiral Lite. It is a consumer-priced cable cam, and I first heard about it from my friend John Simo.
It's actually right here. This thing rips.
And I just thought, what an interesting, unique, somewhat affordable way to get more dynamic motion into my videos. And I was right. And also, it's not great.
But what actually is a cable cam? It's a camera mount system that is suspended from a cable rigged between two different points, which allows for smooth, long-distance shots typically unachievable by handheld or ground-based equipment. They're most commonly used in sporting events, film productions, and live broadcasts to capture dynamic aerial views or follow fast-moving subjects. And they typically cost somewhere between a few and several $1,000s.
But then there's this, the Wiral Lite, a sub $400 option that aims to bring high-end production value to low-budget productions. And does it live up to those expectations?
There are a few things that bother me about this device. The build quality of it, I would say, is okay. It's certainly not great. These wings, they pop up and they're in place now, but when you want to fold them up, oh gosh. It just feels like you're gonna break the thing. They've used one of these kind of standard drone batteries, so charging these is a little bit more annoying. And then just like getting it installed, you have to mash these two connectors together like it's a 1994. And then when you're putting it in, you gotta make sure the wires are out of the way. And then putting this back on, and hopefully, if you do it right, it would have turned on. I actually think the battery's dead.
Do you want this on your body?
Yeah, I will.
While I do appreciate that they opted for a non-proprietary battery, I forget the exact name of these, but you can buy a type of battery elsewhere. Unfortunately, the ones that they provide don't seem great. In fact, they seem to lose their charge pretty quickly. So I actually have to make sure that I charge them before each shoot. I charged and packed 3 of these batteries for a trip to the Maldives this year, and on the first day I went out to use it, all 3 of them were already dead. Wiral was a Kickstarter product back in 2017. They raised just over $1 million USD, so I give them a little bit of leeway for a non-perfect build quality, but it's not all bad. I actually really quite like this spool they came up with.
So this is the line that was included. This is the 50-meter line, and it's not actually 50 meters here anymore. This is probably about 30 or less, because this is the line that snapped on me twice.
No!
Now I've got a 30-meter or less spool. The design of the spool is really quite interesting because it ties itself up nicely. You unhook this top bit here, and then this whole thing spins, and it just kind of unravels itself. So you would start by tying one line, which is supposed to have a carabiner. Guessing I repurposed that for something else. You would tie that one line around something, hook the carabiner onto itself, and then you just start walking. And then you just start walking. Walk to as far as you can in a straight line. And then when you get to the other end, you'll just take this and push it back in, and it'll clip onto itself. There is a secondary compression-y type strap, so you can tie that to something, clip it onto here, and then just reef it nice and tight, because you really want this line to be as taut as possible. You can upgrade this to a 100-meter spool. What's that in feet? Like 300 feet? I don't know. It's much longer, which opens up even more creative possibilities, because this studio here is corner to corner, probably about 50 meters. And if we want to get the wackiest hyperlapses or long moving shots, having more line is always going to be better than, you know, less. So with the Wiral, it also includes these little plastic stoppers that you put on the line, a few feet at least away from the tree or the wall that you've tied it to. That way, if it bumps into it, it can kind of slide and be safe. What happened to me on 2 separate occasions is that it overshot and this wheel ended up bouncing over the little plastic stopper, but it didn't have the momentum to get back over that. So what ends up happening is in here, you've got this rubberized wheel that is kind of what grabs the friction onto the line and sends it. That just starts spinning, and as it spins faster and faster, it heats up the line, and then the line is super susceptible to breaking at that point. It was my mistake for sure that I didn't notice this had overshot it. So if I were to do those shots again now, I would always make sure that these wheels were not being obstructed by anything, because as long as you're not overweighting this thing, I can't imagine the line just randomly breaking. When it comes to initiating the motion with the Wiral, there are 2 main ways that you're going to initiate that. So one is with an app on your phone, which we'll talk about, and the other is this, the included remote. It's got a little dial that's spring-loaded, so you can go left, you can go right. All this remote really does is allow you to set your in point, your out point, play and pause, and toggle between the speeds. There is also a way to set this into time-lapse from here. It's a bit confusing, but it can be done. If you want more granular control over the speed, in order the easing of the speed, not just in and out, but throughout its movement, which it lets you do, you're gonna do that from an app on your phone. From my very first shoot that I did with the Wiral Lite, I have always wished they would make a Wiral Plus, a Wiral Heavy, a Wiral Pro, something like that, that would be, you know, more expensive, but built to handle these heavier cameras, maybe with a smoother motor, maybe more reliable motion control. Unfortunately for me, while I was in the Maldives for that shoot, I accidentally had it hanging a little too close to some ocean water, and my 360 camera hit the water going by, splashed it, and all the motors fried, and it died. So now I'm really in the market for a new option, and I don't really know what to do. It seems like, unfortunately, they may no longer be operating as a company. I've been trying to reach out to them with no response. Amazon and B&H seem to currently have the item as discontinued or out of stock. For now, it's just this. It's the Wiral Lite. It's a cable cam. It opens up a bunch of creative possibilities, but also it might make your gear fall to the ground. So, thanks, Wiral, for making a cool product, actually. Thanks.